This is not the way I imagined we'd be celebrating Yom Kippur. For the first time in nearly 20 years, I am not even standing while I'm delivering this message. I'm not in our beautiful shul. I'm not even in St. Petersburg. I'm sitting in my parents' dining room in suburban Atlanta. And in this moment, we are sharing together a significant loss. We just spent months completing a beautiful renovation of our synagogue, and we may need to begin again. On Rosh Hashanah, I spoke about building an ark, and I did not mean that literally. I spoke about the challenge of tearing down and rebuilding, and I also thought that that was a past tense vision. Well, no matter what state our building is in, we are blessed to be together. I'm certain that in the coming weeks, we will once again create holy spaces wherever we meet, and I pray that before too long we'll return to our sanctuary in perfect condition. Our service this evening, which will be on Zoom, as well as for all those who join wherever you are and wherever community you find yourself for Yom Kippur. It opens with permission to pray with sinners, recognizing that none of us are perfect. Most Yom Kippur sermons speak of how we're doing things wrong in the world, how we need to repent, and how we must do tshuva. I'm taking a different tack this evening. I'd like to celebrate what we do right. Don't worry, despite what my mother says, I know I'm not perfect, and I know that you aren't either. But if we want to keep making good choices, we need to celebrate that which has gone well. This year is my bar mitzvah year of being a rabbi. And I imagine that my time would be spent sitting in my office, reading the books of our people, counseling people in their time of need, teaching classes, visiting people in the community, leading missions to Israel, and officiating at life cycle events. I do all those things. And while those are vital aspects of the job, there's one I hadn't quite imagined: trying to hold things together when everything seems to be falling apart. I hadn't imagined the vitriol of our political system, the challenges of COVID, a global return to anti-Semitism, or even back-to-back hurricanes. But I want to speak positively. Each of the challenges have been opportunities for division in the world and in our Jewish communities. And we have, unfortunately, seen that at times. But we have also seen tremendous unity in ways that we never could have imagined even a year ago. In a time when rising hatred against Jews and the nation of Israel, we've seen the possibility of unity. We've seen how our local rabbis, our Jewish Federation, and so many other amazing national organizations have created opportunities to come together. And through the challenges of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, we've seen our communities step up and support one another, lifting each other up and helping each other through some of our most challenging moments. In the Talmud, we see the principle that all of Israel is responsible for one another. Kol Yisrael Aravim Zelazeh. Now, the original context was a negative statement. It said that if any of us had sinned, all of us had sinned. And we see that in the Al Chet itself, in our confession on Yom Kippur, which are always written in the plural. But in the modern world, we have transformed that message into a positive one. Whether Jews are in India, Uganda, Yemen, Iran, Israel, Ethiopia, St. Petersburg, or anywhere else, we know that we have to be there for one another. And we are here for one another. That's the most important lesson of this moment right now. Over and over, we've shown up for one another, and we will continue to do that in the days and the weeks and the months to come. When I was in medical school, I had my very first experience supporting patients in a hospital as a chaplain, doing what's called CP, clinical pastoral education. And the other seminary students in our education time spoke about bringing Jesus into the room, of being Jesus in the room. And it was a metaphor that was completely beyond my comprehension. Eventually, I realized that it meant to bring the presence of God into whatever space we are in. And that's not limited to clergy or even to anyone with special skills. Every one of us can bring the presence of God wherever we are to those around us. When we care for one another, we bring that holy energy. In Tana Debe Eliyahu Rabbah, it says that the people of Israel are similar to a ship. If there's a hole in the lower hold, one doesn't say, only the lower hold has a hole in it. Rather, they must immediately recognize that the ship is liable to sink, and they all must repair the hole down below. As Jews, we share a common destiny, and we should be conscious of our responsibility to care for one another. If any of us are in trouble, we must all join together to repair the hole. So in this moment, we are blessed to be together on video, on Zoom, in rooms around the world, and we are repairing that hole. by coming together. And we will keep repairing that hole by fixing our shul again, by lifting one another up, by bringing the presence of God to one another. We are so incredibly blessed. Let's not forget that. Gamar Chatima Tova, may you be written and sealed in the book of life.